flag. Thank God for that. Awesome rigging. This is incredible. Well, here we are again. Santa Barbara Navy League's made another trip today to the Coast Guard cutter Eagle. This is a tall ship, training ship, and many of the Coast Guard Academy people spend their first summer at sea aboard this ship training. So let's see what they've got going here. They're entertaining about 200 of us on a tour here, all Navy League people. If you can't join the Coast Guard, join the Navy League. And how is it that you got to be on it for a week?
They send cadets from the academies for training. They split it up. There are 8 companies. They send 3 companies at a time to go. We get to, we're leaving port, I believe, Tuesday or Monday. And we sail to San Diego. It just gives us a chance as cadets to learn the ropes, of sailing, and the Coast Guard is trying to teach us to have appreciation for the sea and its swimmers.
So is this what they call your swap week?
Yes, sir. This is a little break. It's a little different than the normal academy style swab. But we're still swabs. But this is an opportunity we get.
When you say get to know the ropes, does that mean you literally climb the ropes?
Yes, sir. We're sailing. We leave port in 2 days, and we're sailing. We're in charge of everything. So we just do what we're told and pull here and pull there. But it's for real.
It's learning followership first.
Yes.
And are you actually going to, do you know what your assignments are going to be yet when you leave, or just once you get out there?
Once we get out there, we have shifts. Like this is a shift. Some of my shipmates are on Liberty right now, making it the sights of LA.
So when you're not doing this, then you're at the Coast Guard Academy?
Yes, sir.
And what year are you in the Coast Guard Academy?
I will be a 4th class come August. So this will be my first year at the Academy.
All right. Well, congratulations on being accepted. That's quite an honor.
Thank you very much, sir.
And you're a long way from home right now, then.
Yes, sir. Very much.
Yeah. Where is home?
Dallas, Texas, sir.
All right. Good. Go Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
I was in Oxford Candidate School, and I sailed from New London, Connecticut to New Orleans.
Okay, so you went right from the academy area to...
Correct. Except we didn't get to sail a whole lot. We mostly motored, and we mostly plowed into the seas. And once the one day that we actually got under sail, it is just an amazing experience.
Well, this ship, now, did I understand that this ship was actually captured after World War II or something?
It wasn't captured. It's what's known as a war prize. So, kind of historical in the, we probably don't do war prizes anymore, but, when a foreign army was defeated back in the turn of the century, they'd kind of divvy up the spoils of war. And so this was one of 5 sister ships that were built in Germany in 1936 to train German sea cadets. This was Nazi Germany time here in 1936 to 1944. So at the end of the war, they divided up, and West Germany kept one of them, and Russia got one. I think Romania got one. I think Spain was the other one that got one. So really this has 4 sister ships of the same class and same design and everything there. And so Coast Guard took it with an original German crew, and they sailed it to New London, and we kind of outfitted it to be our training vessel and everything. Well, again, it's based out of New London, and mainly our cadets at the Coast Guard Academy sail it during the summer. So during the winter, it's going through some maintenance, and then it just doesn't see. It's too windy to sail in the winter up in the Northeast. So it mainly spends most of its time in the Atlantic. It's going to Europe next year. And then about once every 5th year, it comes out to the West Coast. So we're kind of privileged here to have it out here, and then it's kind of been sailing up and down, and it will be heading back at the end of August to go through the Panama Canal to go back home. So.
All right. So and the Coast Guard Academy, is it all the equivalent of freshmen?
Our 4th year cadets. We don't call them swabs or anything like they do in the Navy. But again, we call our Coast Guard Academy cadets, and then we also have officer candidates that go through officer candidate school. They'll spend, like I did, I went to officer candidate school, so they'll spend a couple of weeks. The cadets spend, I think 3 or 4 weeks. They got a brand new set of cadets that flew out here today from New London, and they're the ones that are doing the serving. And so they'll spend the next at least 2 weeks on here, and they're fresh out of high school. So they've been spending 3 weeks at the Coast Guard Academy learning how to be in the military, and now they get to learn what it is to be teamwork on an old sailing vessel.
Learn the ropes.
Learn the ropes. 180 lines. And of course, one of the things you got to know is some of these lines actually, a lot of these large yards, they actually raise and lower. You can see how there's 2 yards close together. With all these lines, you can't throw off the wrong line or you'll let something like that fall. There's 3 masts, so each mast has its own set of 60 lines, and then of course there's a port and starboard. So really you have to really know 30 lines.
But I don't see them being color coded or any kind of magical markings that tell you exactly what they are. So
yeah, some are rattling, some are actually to move the arm, some are to raise the sails, some are to raise the follower. Right, and these are called rattlins. And so it's rattlins is what they do to actually get up to the, and then we get 2 steps. Usually the first step is called the fighting top. And so the important thing about the fighting top is that in the early days when we used to have, the Marines used to be the snipers. And so if you ever look at a Marine officer's white cap, it has a white cross embroidered in the top. And the purpose was is that the Marine sharpshooters would be up in the fighting top, and they'd be able to look down. And again, you'd have 2 naval vessels, combatants, that come together, and they'd be sending crews back and forth, so that the Marine snipers always knew who the Marines were on deck. They'd look down on their hat, and they'd see that cross and everything. That was the way
they'd be shooting the people without the cross.
Absolutely. Take care of your own.
Well, this is some good sailing lore, and we're really honored to be down in the San Pedro Harbor today with the United States Coast Guard hosting us aboard the Coast Guard cutter Eagle. 1936.
1936, and again, I appreciate you guys coming out, and we look forward to serving you guys in the future.
Captain Summers, it's a great honor, and thank you very much for hosting us today.
All right, thank you.
Navy Days LA, we'd like to present the Haven Division Sea Cadets with a little something to help you check, and we also, there you go. Thank you very much for all the support of Gary and for this decoration. Tony Chris, Tony Pearson, J.R. Vitsky, Mark Dundee. If you guys want a picture of this? Gotta get closer. Come on, Tony, get in there. Side leg. There you go, Jay. Very good. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for these are the people that make Navy Days LA happen.
Our leader, Grant.
Also, I'd like to call Frank Barniak up here, Karen Crawford, Bill Foray, Todd Moore, still aboard. Maria Isabel Soto. All right. Edna Ralston, right here. Vincent Vanderbrink. Ladies, okay. These people that I just announced, these are your council presidents. Maria Isabel Soto is Long Beach Council's. She has got a ship commissioning coming up here shortly. And this is Karen Crawford from Santa Barbara, the Santa Barbara Council. All the way down, we've got Frank Barniak. Mr. Bell Helicopters has just built a church down in Costa Rica, but Hollywood, Los Angeles Council, give Frank a big hand. And Bill Foray is with the Orange County Council. So the reason why I'm doing this is introducing all you people out here, because if you're not a Navy League member and you want to join, these are the people to talk to. So I'd like Tony Chris to present each one of these council presidents with a gift. And there's Vincent Vanderbrink from Newport Beach Council. All these presidents are volunteers. They do their time, they raise money, they do membership, they do all this stuff. So we're going to present each one of them with a Navy Days Out Lake Challenge coin for their hard work. And thank you very much for all these council presidents. How we got the ship here is and he is the one who invited the Navy League. Jim, would you like to say a few words?
Again, on behalf of the Coast Guard, I do want to thank all you folks for coming out here. And again, we are very proud of the Coast Guard and the support that we've got here from our local Navy League. It kind of works in our favor that we don't have a whole lot of a Navy presence, so that we can kind of get your all undivided attention, everything here. But again, the Long Beach chapter is the one that supports my base, everything there. So Maria, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right. And again, we have a lot of important Coast Guard units. We've actually got at least 13 here in Southern California. So those councils that are looking to support a unit, come see me. I will pair you up with a great unit, because we've got some great young men and women that are serving this country, and they would be more than happy to embrace you. And again, the groups that currently have councils that sponsor, I thank you. Beverly Hills, the Newport Beach, Orange County, we've got a lot of folks, the Santa Barbara folks, so again, I appreciate it. Hey, Kevin Fitton's going to talk about his crew that's helping me out tonight, but I ask one favor from you all. My base cooks are the ones that are catering this event this evening, so all those folks that are in total white uniforms that say ISC San Pedro, please make it a point to thank you. They've been working all day, both yesterday and today, to create a record feast here. So please, this evening, give them a hand. And so these cooks are the ones that are they're rotated out from sea duty. So again, please take time and thank them very much for all their work.
Thank you, Jim. Well, I'd like to have the captain of the ship give you a few remarks about what the ship is, this old technology here under sail, the reason why teamwork. I think we were talking about this a little earlier. And, you know, this technology may be coming back. You know, the wind's free. You know, go think about this next time you put gas in your tank. Captain Sinek?
Thank you. And I'm going to make this quick, because I know that everybody is interested in getting around in some of the interior spaces of the ship, and that's what we're going to start right after I finish here. But basically, I often get asked, why are we using a 72-year-old ship with 100-year-old technology to train the next generation of leaders in the Coast Guard? And the reason is that we are not teaching people how to sail. What we are doing is we are teaching basic seamanship, and we are teaching leadership. And Eagle is the prime leadership laboratory, because where else can you gainfully employ 150 people from the ages of 18 to 22, all at one time, all working for a common goal. And what we do on board Eagle is we give people personal challenge by sending them into the rig, and then we give them challenges where they have to work together as a team to set all the sail, to tack the ship, to do other maneuvers that you simply cannot do as an individual. And so this is the beginning of the journey of that Coast Guard career and of the learning of the culture that culminates in events like the Katrina rescue. It all starts here and at recruit training in Cape May and at the Coast Guard Academy. So that's what we're all about. And I want to invite everybody, we're going to open up the watertight door into the wardroom, which is over on the starboard side, just after where we are now, to go in there and take a look at the black and white photographs that are up on the bulkhead. Those are all from the period of 1936 to 1946, because 1946 is when the U.S. Coast Guard took what was then Horst Wessel from Bremerhaven, Germany, and sailed her across the Atlantic, and we renamed her Eagle. I also want you to go all the way back aft to the area called the flag cabin, and you'll recognize it when you get back there because it's all mahogany and ornate wood, and it is a very classy looking space on board the ship. That is the one space on board that is still the original 1936 construction. So the wood that you see, everything that's in there, the tables, the chairs, the berth, it's all as it was the day this ship was launched in Germany in 1936. And just go back in there, and we will have folks that are standing around that can answer questions. But please just go ahead and enjoy yourself. Check out the interior parts of the ship. It's really something special. She's a joy to sail. And I will be around as well. Feel free to come up and talk to me and ask questions, and I'll give you the benefit of all my knowledge about Eagle, which may be a bit more than you want.
Tony Pearson has a little present he'd like to have a word.
Captain, many years ago, the battleship Missouri was in the biggest dry dock in the world, and I was very fortunate to get part of the surrender deck and make a little plaque for you. And this is in September 2nd, I believe it is in Tokyo Bay, the original surrender deck of the battleship Missouri.
Right. One final.
You can use it to patch this deck.
All right.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
There's Eagle. Coast Guard guy, John.
Here with second class cadet, Zarnecki. She's aboard Coast Guard.
Coast Guard cutter.
And you have been aboard how long?
3 weeks.
And the cadets that come on board, how long do they stay?
Well, the cadets that have been on board for these 3 weeks, they've been on board for 1 week at a time for 3 phases. But we also have third class cadets that come on board for 5 or 6 weeks at a time.
And what do they learn? What is the primary mission?
It's just for them to learn basic seamanship. So we have a lot of teamwork that's necessary for working the sails and yep, basically.
You have fun. You visit a lot of ports.
Yes.
And tell us your name first.
Second class Jason Vieira.
And you are a Coast Guard Academy
cadet, second class.
And you've been on Eagle before?
Yes, I have.
Tell us about the Coast Guard Academy and what it does.
Well, the Academy is a 4-year program, just like the Naval Academy or West Point. It takes freshmen right out of high school. There's other takes young people all over the nation, and then takes them through basic indoctrination period of about 8 weeks, and then they go through 4 years of academic college, and then during the summers they have several military training periods. This is part of our military training right now, actually.
And you've been on board Eagle before?
I have. There are a few times that cadets go on Eagle over their career at the Coast Guard Academy. The first time is 1 week over SWAP summer, which is their basic indoctrination sort of boot camp period. They spend a week, and that's where the SWABs right now that are on board right now are doing their 1 week cruise on Eagle. Then the next summer, during their third class, excuse me, the summer before their third class year, their sophomore year, they come back on Eagle for about 5 or 6 weeks, and they do 5 or 6 weeks sailing around the world on Eagle as well. And then they also have another chance if they'd like to come back the summer after that, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm a second class cadre, and we're in charge of the SWABs here on Eagle for their 1 week here. We're on board for 3 weeks. They do it in 3 different phases, 1 week at a time. And then I also may get a chance to come back next summer if I would really like to, and do 12 weeks being in charge of the third class when they come on.
Oh, great. And what do you learn from the experience aboard Eagle?
Well, the Coast Guard uses the sail training to teach teamwork, communication, discipline. There's really nothing else that you can do in the Coast Guard that would require as much communication and teamwork than handling sail and going through sailing maneuvers. So it's really, we use it to really get a liking for the sea and learn that seamanship.
Sail locker, and each one of these sails costs how much?
A lot. I have no idea how much, but a lot of money. They're very expensive. I mean, they're engineered specifically for this boat, so they cost a lot of money.
Oh yeah, the Bismarck is the hull number right after this hull number.
Is it?
It was built right next to each other in the shipyards.
Sitting in the main cabin of the Coast Guard cutter Eagle, which was built and owned by Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany from 1936 to 1946. It was taken as booty by the United States and is now part of the sailing, training, and education of Coast Guardsmen, United States Coast Guardsmen. As we sit in this room, which is a room that Hitler could have sat in, there's an important thing to think about. The number on the hull of this ship was sequentially numbered, one hull number before the Bismarck. When you think about what this ship sailing around the United States today is doing for our young men and women of the United States Coast Guard who are learning the ropes of being a Coast Guardsman. In the year before they join the Coast Guard Academy as what we would think of as sophomores, remember what victory means, what victory meant to America, and the benefit that comes from a sustained victory, but realizing that victory means the benefit for not only Americans, but in this case the Germans and all of Europe. What does it mean for the Middle East? What does it mean for our children and our grandchildren and our grandchildren's children? Victory is still important, and it's shown right here on the Coast Guard Cutter Eagle. Thank you for joining us, and God bless America.
Just nice to meet you. I just got to ask a couple of your new recruits if the three steering apparatuses were to help turn to get, you got three masts.
So what did they tell you?
No, they said, actually, they said to ask the lieutenant.
Okay,
He would be able to give you the right
they're all
answer.
tied together. We just have the three of them because there's no real hydraulics or electric steering. You turn that wheel, the rudder turns on a 1-for-1 ratio. So occasionally in heavy weather, it takes up to 6 people to turn the ship. It doesn't like to turn when we're moving ahead at any significant speed. So they're all linked together. So if you turn one, that'll turn them all.
Well, it's appropriate. I think that German engineering would have something over-engineered to the extent.
Yeah. We see the ship wants to go straight and or turn up into the wind even a little bit. So you gotta kind of hold it there. And, it can be tiring for the young guys there.
Very interesting. You know, the great thing about YouTube is that today I was able to go onto YouTube and watch a movie about the Eagle.
Yep.
About a 5-minute movie.
I hope it was a good one.
It was. It was amazing. Anyway, thank you all.
Sure, no problem.
I hope we have a really good show, and we want to feature the Coast Guard and all the work that you do. We really respect what you do. Thank you for your leadership.
Excellent. Thank you very much. All right, you guys have a safe trip for having us aboard.
Thanks so
what a
much
great
for
honor to be aboard this.
Thank you for coming.
You know, being able to sit down in the aft room in the mahogany and realize that,
Oh my gosh.
that's
where I hang out underway. You know, I go back there to read.
The benefits of what when victory meant something real in America, and realizing what has come from that victory, and all of our cadets that are trained aboard this ship.
Yep.
It's a wonderful,
You're doing a great job.
You're doing a great job.
Thank
Thank you for all you do.
We got, you know, the Coast Guard is a great service, and I tell people I'm still playing this game because I'm still enjoying it. And it's been 25 years for me. Still having fun. It's still a great organization, great mission, and a great job.
It's a great job.
Life's good.
Yes.
Teach the new kids the ropes, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
All right, you guys have a safe trip back. Thank you very much.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Good night.
We're going to be going here, okay? All right, good. Hey, thanks a lot for everything there, Marquez. Appreciate it.
This wonderful
Such
ship.
a wonderful ship.
Isn't she?
Thank you very much, sir, for your visit. Thank you very much for waiting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience in the beginning
Thank
today,
you
too.
very much.
Oh, thank you for coming aboard. We really appreciate it.
Truly an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. It's a
Nice
privilege
to
having
meet
you. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, you bet, sir.
The need for a strong, vital sea service, recognized by Theodore Roosevelt in 1902, is no less today. The challenges facing our nation have never been greater. More than 100 years later, the Navy League continues to answer the call. Your support makes a difference to our men and women of the sea services who serve today and will serve tomorrow in support of American sea power. As one Secretary of the Navy said, the sun never sets on the Navy League.